making it fun, picking different themes for different days. What's up guys, it's PC Miner 101 here, and I'm back at it again with another video. And today's video is going to help all of those cooks and foodies out there, which is how to meal plan. So in terms of that, it's weekly. Some people might do it for longer than that, but weekly is probably the easier option. But how to do it weekly and stick to it. It's hard to stick with it sometimes, and there is some times where you can't plan, but you know, we'll get there. So anyway, let's get into the video. So number one is time. Time is very important. You need to pick a day of the week, so say a Sunday or whichever day of the week, and you need to think, okay, if it's you that you live on your own, depends on who. If you live on your own, then it's just, you know, set time for yourself just to go down, get a notepad and pen and just think. If it's just you and other people you live in the house with you, then you and all of them need to just sit down and maybe do like an hour or half an hour just to sit and talk. And I would say an hour actually, maybe like half an hour just to sit and talk. And this is what you need to do. So when you have this talk, the first thing you need to talk about is about how many meals are you making for the week ahead. So is there anything going on the week ahead of you? So say, is there a birthday and you think if there's like someone's birthday, you know, and you know you're going to be going out for a meal with them and eating out that night. Is there something else going on? Are you going somewhere and you're eating out? You know, think about how many meals you need to plan. Do you need to plan the full week or just half the week? And as well as that, you need to think about if you're going to prep in advance. So you need to think about, are you going to prep some of those meals before? Because there is some people that will cook meals, like they will do like a spag bowl, sausages and mash, I think, stuff like that. They'll tub it and they'll put it in the fridge. And they'll make their own ready meals, basically, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, kind of something like that. And that's what you need to think about. And you all need to just think about what you all like and dislike. So if there's someone in the house that doesn't like fish, you need to think about that. Because if there's people that eat different things, because I'm a picky eater, you know, so if you do have people like that in your house that are picky eaters, you need to also cater towards them, but not make them feel left out. Because I'm a picky eater, and luckily me and my fiance and his sister, we all work around that, and I appreciate that so much when it comes to having meals. And I never feel left out if I'm eating something that I don't like. If they're eating something that I don't like, but I'm getting something different, having to cook 2 meals at once. But we try and avoid that as best we can. But obviously there is certain things we can't avoid that, like, because I don't like spicy things. So I definitely can't avoid that. I just have to have something separate if they're wanting something spicy, or if they're wanting like a curry. You have to avoid that. But, you know, so you have to think about that. And as well as that, like, if people have specific dietary requirements, and just bring this up. So just, these are kind of talking points to talk about when you're doing this. And I would recommend to do it on maybe a weekend. So I would recommend doing it before the new week. So I would say maybe on a Saturday, a Friday or a Saturday, plan for the week after, because it gives you time to think. And, you know, and obviously if you've planned for that week, you've still got the meals for that week, and then you can just write down the week after. Obviously sometimes something unexpected might happen. So you might plan 5 meals, and then say someone calls you and you go out, or you've got like an unexpected meal, or you're going out drinking and you're going out for a meal afterwards, something like that. But you've planned 5 meals. That meal can be used for another week, so you can always change it like that if something unexpected happens. But the next thing, which number 2, which is very important, which is what you already have in your stock. So if you're doing this plan when you need to buy some items, or if you're doing this plan say near the end of the month or something, or when you've not got a lot in, try and check what you already have. Try and use up the items you've already got. So if you've got just something simple like rice and then maybe like some meat, so if you've got rice and some chicken, you can just do some chicken rice, you know, things like that. Check what stock you've got first, and also the dates of your stuff, because there is, because obviously not just hospitality or supermarkets or food places need to do stock control, you need to do it in your own house as well. So if you've got something that's going to go out of date soon and it needs using up, use that first and just check your stock. That's really it, pretty much it. Because you might look at it and think, oh, I can't make anything out of that. But then if you look closer, you could just try and make something with it. Even if it's not like ideal or not something you'd have as like a normal meal, it's something and you've used them items, and then that's it really. The third thing is always include your favourite meals when you can. Obviously, it's one of those, if you can't have them every night, but at least try and include your favourite meals or favourite food items. Not just ones that you want. So if you're on a health kick and you're like, okay, I want to eat loads of healthy stuff, include your favourites as well. I mean, my personal favourite, I have a lot of favourite meals when it comes to having tea, but I would probably say one of my personal favourites is a creamy bacon carbonara. It's just, it all blends well together, the sauce, and it's amazing. And I would also say what I had last night, which was some rice with some passata. Actually, no, it was bolognese sauce. Normally we use passata, but it was some rice with bolognese sauce, and it was really nice. The next thing, which I've seen people do this on TikTok, and I'd love to do this when I get my own house, which is possibly making it like, you know, which is not everyone will want to do this, but I want to do this, which is making it fun. So, you know, picking different themes for different days, because it makes it fun. And if you wanted to do it in a way of, you know, having not all, if you get tired of having the same thing all the time every week, then doing themes, make sure that you might have something different that you would normally have. As an example of a 5-day week, which is like an example that what comes to my mind is, say on a Monday, not having any meat, so meatless Monday. So, you know, just having something without meat in it. Day 2 with the meal plan, you could do something like make your own something. So like, and you could do a lot with that. So you could say Tuesday, it's make your own tacos or make your own burrito, something like that. Yeah. Wednesday, you could do a fish themed dish. That rhymed and it wasn't meant to, but a fish dish basically, so it has to be fish. Thursday can just be anything with meat basically, you know, just like something that's high in protein. Friday, you know, you could pick something from a specific cuisine for Friday. So you could say, okay, on Fridays it's Italian, or Fridays it's American, or something like that. Pick a specific theme. And then you've got Saturday and Sunday. So, well, Saturday will be a fakeaway night. There we go. Right. Saturday, you could do fakeaways. So pick your favourite place that you want to eat at. So say if you're really craving a McDonald's, just do a fakeaway on Saturday. And then Sunday, you could do film. You could do something, which is what I've saw on TikTok people do, which is making food out of films. Or like they'll do inspired by films. So I've seen someone do it where with the Marvel films, they'll pick a Marvel film to watch and they'll do a 3-course meal. But you don't have to do that. You could just do it based on film. So on Sunday, you can say, okay, you could put some films in a hat, pick one out, and then say, okay, let's make film. Our tea tonight will be food inspired by that film. Or, you know, pick films that have really iconic food dishes and then just put one out and then you're making food. So say if it's like Princess and the Frog or Ratatouille, it has to have food in it, like iconic food in it. Like, it has to have different foods in it so you can choose. Like Ratatouille, you've obviously got the soup, the actual Ratatouille itself. You know what I mean? And that's like an example for a week. But you don't have to do something specific as that. But, you know, it's something that's quite interesting. But I think that makes it quite fun. And you can all, like, incorporate. So if you live with other people, then you all could pitch in and put something in there and say, okay, I want to do this and I want to do that. And if you can't decide, just put loads of ideas into a wheel or a hat, pick some out, and there you go. It's fun. I would say the next idea and how to do this is to do bulk cooking. So there's a lot of things that you can make in bulk, because that makes it easier. Because say if there's a week where you think, I don't really know what to make, we haven't really got that much in, and you check your freezer and you've got some bulk food that you made a couple of weeks ago, have that. Like, I know in this house we all do soup, so we all cook soup in bulk. So at the moment we've got loads of batches of vegetable soup, and we'll do batches that are for, you know, having as a snack if you're hungry, as like a lunch, and then we'll do big batches which is for meals. And I think that is a good idea to do. Soup is really easy to cook in bulk, but there is other things out there. Again, as I said at the beginning, you can also make ready meals. So you could also just make, say, just one night, just make sausages and mash, freeze it, and then, you know, make something else, freeze it, and then get it out and make it. But it's up to you. But I personally think that bulk is easier, but sometimes you don't always want to cook in bulk, you want to do it fresh, but there are some things you can do. Now, speaking of this, in terms of having a lot, is leftovers. Now, when it comes to leftovers, it's one of those of when you're cooking, say, a batch of rice or maybe some pasta, maybe do a little, like when you're portioning out how much pasta or rice or etc. to cook, maybe just do a little extra, so that when you've had your portion of it, you've got some leftovers. So purposely making extra and more than you need to, so you have some leftovers, because it's always, especially when it's something you really like, and then you're like, what are we having? Oh, we're having leftovers from that night, and you think, oh my god, you know, I love that, so that's great. And also just check in general if you have any leftovers, anything that you just couldn't finish, so you decided to put it in the freezer, or to chill it from a few days ago, something like that. Leftovers is always a good option to incorporate in your plan if you do have any. As well as that, the next thing I would recommend with this is your ingredients. So what I mean by that is, when it comes to your ingredients, you can get specific ingredients that can be made, that can be used for multiple dishes. So it's not just a one dish only ingredient, you know. So say for example with chicken, you can use chicken in a lot of items. You can use chicken in a lot of things. You can have chicken with rice, you can have chicken with pasta, you can have, you know, you can do breadcrumb chicken, you know, you can do chicken in a lot of different dishes. You can even do it in a stir fry. Like, chicken is one of those things you can do in a lot of dishes. So having something like that around means that it helps your meal plan, because you think, okay, what have we got? Well, we've got some chicken, so what can we do with that chicken? What can we have, you know? So, and there's a lot of things with that. So say like with potatoes, again, with potatoes, you can do a lot with potatoes. You can make them many different ways. You can make homemade chips, you can make mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, etc. You can do a lot with potatoes, like, so you have to just think of stuff like that. So the first two that came to mind again for me was chicken and potatoes. But again, there's probably going to be loads of other stuff. You just have to kind of have a look and, you know, look online and just see what specific things you like. So if you're a really big fan of something, see if you can, if that's an ingredient where you can use that in multiple things, etc. So also try and get some veg into that, you know, because obviously when it comes to health, when it comes to eating, you want to make sure you're getting all those different food groups, and you want to make sure you're incorporating your vegetables as well. So maybe just try and put in at least 2 or 3 in each dish if you can, or every other dish, and having it be ones that you can use in different dishes. But one more, which isn't on my list but it's just come to my mind, like another kind of helpful tip, is, which is what I saw someone do on TikTok, I can't remember the name, but what they did was like a meal roulette kind of thing. So they used every single, so when I told you about checking your current stock and using that, so what they did was all of their stock that they had left that was either going to go out of date or they needed to use up quickly, they just did random things of it. So I think someone uncovered one thing for their tea and it was like a leftover soup, whereas another thing was just cheese and something else. If it's just you on your own, you could still do that, but say you could just get all of your ingredients in your house and that you've got, they need to use up, just put it in like a wheel or a hat and just pick it out and think, okay. And then you have to pick something. You can either do it, stop there and pick something. Say if you pulled out, I don't know, potatoes, you have to think, okay, what else have I got that I could use with the potatoes? Or you could just pull it out and then pick it and then say, okay, how are you going to make a meal out of that? What are you going to do? And then it gets you thinking. But I would say that is all of the ideas that I have for that. And, you know, it's good to start meal prepping. If you're not already, then definitely give it a try. It wouldn't harm in trying, and it's nice to know what you're having. It's nice to kind of just have that menu and look and think, you know what, I'm having this. But I hope that this has been very helpful, and, you know, you can just make it fun. Meal prepping doesn't have to be boring, just writing stuff down and being like, okay, you know, it can be fun. Just make it fun, you know. As I said, come up with themes, just do different things and make it really fun. And, you know, it will really work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video and also subscribe if you're not already, because it's free and I've got loads of good content coming up. And also, I am open to ideas for videos, as I've told you. So if you want to see something specific, comment that down below and I will happily see what I can do. But yeah, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.